All right, everybody, welcome back. What is going on? Good evening. And we've got one more video of cornerbacks to look at here. So let's just go ahead and get right to it. I know we're down near the bottom of the list here. I know things are a little bit less compelling, but I will say this. I don't mind some of the stuff here. Like, for instance, Demani Jackson of Alabama. Alabama cornerback. These guys tend to be a little bit more high profile than Demani. 22, decent size, decent length, not great or anything, but okay arm length. Tested mixed. The 40 was good. The 10-yard split, not so much, but got good speed. So really, physically, there's some stuff going on here that you should probably like. And there are big boards that like him a lot. Walter and ESPN have him in the top 100. Tankathon has him in the fourth. The aggregate, though, like the smaller big boards drag him all the way down, and he's actually like a late sixth round pick or maybe even early seventh rounder. Not coming off his best year. I think he missed some time. Only one pass breakup, no picks. Coverage numbers were pretty good, but it's a small sample size. The year before that was a better year. Coverage numbers were good that year. 7 passes defensed, 2 interceptions. So Demani Jackson kind of getting pushed to the side a little bit because he did not have a great 2025. I get it. But the things with Demani Jackson that are nice, he uses his size well to play physically. Very good at making sure that he is always present at the catch point and very disruptive. He has strong press cover skills. He was a good press corner in college. He is willing to get involved as a tackler as well. He's a good tackler. He's got smooth hips to chase receivers around the field, so he should be pretty good in man. He actually has both man skills and zone skills in his repertoire, so whatever you're running, he can probably do it. He's got good top speed. Now, I don't think he's great in terms of run support, not because of his tackling willingness, but more of his ability to get to the right place at the right time. He needs to understand positioning and reading a play a little bit better. He gets beat badly when his press is defeated, so if he's not allowed to press, you don't get a lot. He bites on fakes and double moves a lot, and he is grabby, draws flags. So this is actually a pretty darn good prospect for somebody that you might be able to get late in day 3. So honestly, I'd be okay in round 4. I like him more than the aggregate does. Admittedly, the bigger big boards tend to like him more than the aggregate, but I do think there's something worthy of being even a 4th round pick here, if this is the kind of player you want. Obviously, everything's contingent on that. Okay, next up we have Jadon Canady, who a lot of people consider to be a safety, but I put him with the corners. Oregon product, 23 years old. Let's get into Canady a little bit, see what makes him go. Kind of small, which is part of the reason why I don't think he'll be a safety. I don't think 181 pounds will fly. He's short arms, kind of big hands, though, I guess, kind of. Big board. ESPN really likes him for whatever reason. They have him in the early 4th, but the aggregate has him in kind of that late 6th, early 7th range. He's had 2 productive years these last couple years. Last year, 2 picks and 6 passes defensed, and the coverage numbers are actually off the charts. 37 targets, 104 yards. That is remarkable. Really strong PFF grade. The year before that, no interceptions, but 12 passes defensed. Coverage numbers were good, not as good as this, but coverage numbers were solid. But 37 targets, 104 yards is kind of incredible. So the positives with Canady, he moves well in open space to keep up with routes when he's in man. So he's a fluid mover. He can change direction. He can improvise. He has those skills. He's willing to get physical, even though he's a smaller guy. So at the very least, he's not going to shy away from contact or shy away from traffic. And he's got good ball skills. He has good timing when the ball's in the air to go make a play on it. Now, when he gets to the NFL, I think he's just going to end up being a slot corner. And that's unfortunate because he did play outside at the college level, at least some. So I think you're going to lose a lot of the flexibility with Canady, and you're going to be talking about a slot-only corner. He will also not be as good a tackler when he's against bigger players. Like, it's one thing to be a good tackler in college, but it's another thing to be a good tackler when you're playing NFL caliber players every week. And bigger receivers are just going to be able to box him out. Like, if we played a team that had Canady on it, and we put Jake Bobo in the slot, or even somebody like Cooper Kupp, the size difference would be a big problem. So something to think about. But I think he's kind of a typical run-of-the-mill slot corner. He's the thing that really stands out is how good his coverage numbers were in 2025. This is amazing. 37 targets, 104 yards. I think he'll be good though. A 5th round pick if you need a slot corner. That's what I'm going to say about that. I would not think too hard about his possible flexibility because I don't really think he has much flexibility. I think once you get to the NFL, it's slot or nothing. And finally, we got one more guy. Our last guy this year is going to be Devin Marshall of North Carolina State. NC State, the Wolfpack, I believe they are, could not find his age. He also did not go to the combine, so this is all an estimate, 5'11", 200 pounds, so kind of typical, more or less. A couple big boards had him in the 5th, but the aggregate has him in like the early 7th. Good ball production the last couple years. That's the main thing we're talking about here. 4 interceptions over the last 2 years, 83 tackles, 23 passes defensed. Last year, coverage numbers were great. Less than 5 yards per target. Year before that, less than 6. So his coverage numbers have been impeccable and almost a 90 PFF grade. So there's good stuff to like here. He's got great ball skills, which is how he breaks up all these passes. He's also a good mover, a fluid mover, going to be able to keep up in man. And he's a good press corner. We don't know exactly how long his arms are because he didn't go to the combine, but seems like he'll be a good press corner. He's got great footwork, and he's a physical player. And the footwork helps with him in press because he's able to stay in front of his guy. Now, we don't know everything we need to know about Marshall because he didn't get invited to the combine, unfortunately. He does bite hard on fakes. He is somebody that will fall for a double move all day. There's some technique issues in press. And I think that there are some things that he could be doing a little bit better, like which hand he jabs with. Although, again, I think he's a pretty good press player. There's a little bit of stuff to clean up there, and he's going to need to because the margins are thin for him. And if he would be a little bit more aggressive in how he attacked the ball, he could definitely get way more interceptions. So that's got to improve. So I'm not really sure what to say here, but he's an absolute ball magnet. So I kind of like this. I kind of like him more than the aggregate. I'm thinking 5th rounder. I want to see what he does at the pro day, though. Maybe he'll run like a 4.6, 5.40, and then you just kind of go, oh, well, that's going to be a problem. But the ball skills, tough to beat. Coverage numbers were awesome these last 2 years. So I get it. And that will wrap up our look at the corners. So starting tomorrow, unless something big happens tomorrow. I'm sorry, we have one more corner to look at here. How could I forget Jalen Husky? My bad, guys. I got a little excited there, I guess. So we have one more guy, Jalen Husky of Maryland. Couldn't find his age either, but he did get an invite to the combine. Good size, 6'1", almost 200 pounds. Arms, a little bit below average, but not critically so. Massive hands. Big boards, kind of a 7th rounder all the way through, all day, 7th rounder. He had a lot of tackles last year and a lot of interceptions. He's got 7 over the last 2 years, but it's kind of weird, right? You'd think a guy with a lot of interceptions is making a lot of plays on the ball, but not really. He's got more interceptions than passes deflected over the last 2 years. Coverage numbers, clean. 17 targets, 81 yards allowed. Not a lot of targets, though. And the year before that, decent. Good PFF grades. So the main thing with Husky is just the takeaway numbers. Look at how much he's taking the ball away. This is way more than most other guys we've looked at so far in this group. So he's also really good in how he goes after the run. He's almost like a linebacker, not necessarily in terms of impact. I'm not going to go that far, but it feels a little like a linebacker in terms of how aggressive he goes after the run. And he understands how to balance route watching with quarterback watching so he doesn't get too distracted by one or the other. He's got great cover instincts as well, so you put him in zone and you ask him to read a play, he's going to have a great feel for where to be and how to get there and et cetera, et cetera. Now, his movement skills in the open field are not smooth. He's a little bit of a funky mover, so man coverage is probably not his thing. He's not very fast. I know he didn't do anything at the combine, but he's not fast. He might end up moving to safety. That's a possibility here. And he doesn't have good acceleration either. It takes a while for him to build up speed, so if you try to put him in man, he's going to get broken open on constantly. So the takeaways are kind of the big thing here. I like the fact that he's a good tackler. He's willing to get his hands dirty. I don't know if he'll be good in man. I suspect that actually, I kind of feel like I do know he won't be good in man, but I think you put him in zone and keep him close to the line of scrimmage most of the time, you're going to get something pretty good here. So, 5th rounder. I ended up liking a lot of these guys at the bottom of the draft more than I expected. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks. That'll do it for this video, and I will be seeing you guys soon.